Nintendo Switch Online gets a much long-awaited update. We've got new freebies for you on the eShop, and Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door drops a surprise out of nowhere. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. We're back to audio only for another day. Although hopefully the audio is a little bit clearer this time. I do apologize. It's hard to be on the road and recording, but I gotta make sure you get your Switch news coverage. Now we'll kick it off with that Switch Online update I just teased. Mario Party 3 and Waluigi make their way later this week to Switch Online, plus the expansion pack. This is one of the final two N64 games that have been revealed and yet to be released, the other being 1080 Snowboarding, still out there somewhere. But Mario Party 3, fantastic game, awesome Mario Party. My favorite's probably 2, and then 3, and then 1, probably in that order. I do think 3, though, is very quality. 70 mini games to enjoy. It's got the nice head-to-head two-player duel mode. It does have Waluigi, and it is out later this week on Friday, the 27th of October. This is painting a picture like I illustrated earlier this year, where Nintendo is going to wrap up everything they have announced for Switch Online to do what? We don't know. Will there be another batch of N64 games, another batch of GBA games, or will they save everything for the next console, Switch 2? Will they have sort of like a relaunch of Switch Online with, oh, here's a whole bunch of new SNES games and N64 games and GBA games and Game Boy Color games? That's what I'm leaning more towards. I do feel like they're kind of like slowly just rinsing out everything that they have announced. And we're getting to the very end. A couple Game Boy games left, 1080 Snowboarding. You've got, what, 2 more months of the year? I bet we get like a GBA game next month, and that's probably Golden Sun. And then I bet in December we get 1080 Snowboarding, and they say, like, our hands are clean of all the nostalgic back catalog releases. But to celebrate Halloween, Nintendo is dropping an indie world classic, Cult of the Lamb, as a freebie between today, October 25th, and Halloween, next Tuesday, October 31st. The trial gives access to the full game, and then from there you can buy the game and your save data will transfer over. But like they usually do, they have this game on sale, 40% off. Cult of the Lamb is very fun. It's a roguelike with cult simulation building as well. It's a very quality game. It's not like up there with my top 5 roguelites, but it's probably right in the next 5. It's good, it's just not, it's great even, I'd say. I just don't think it's like of all time. Like, to me, Enter the Gungeon is a better game than Cult of the Lamb. Hades is a better game than Cult of the Lamb. But, like, Cult of the Lamb is still pretty darn good. It's definitely got a great vibe, great theme, great art, and to get in on it for free, oftentimes these games feel a little bit lackluster, but Cult of the Lamb is a great freebie. And I kind of hope that with Switch 2, instead of these just being trials, they'll give us a freebie, you know, and let us keep it. I like this idea of them, like, oh, offering a discount after you play the trial to then buy the full game, but to be fair, Cult of the Lamb came out over a year ago, so offering this up just for free for Switch Online subscribers, I don't know, that sort of seems like maybe just like a nice thing to do. Alas, you can download this now, and I do recommend it. Now, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door is the second of 2 RPG Marios that are being remade recently / upcomingly, if that's a word. We've got Super Mario RPG dropping in just a few weeks, November 17th, and we have Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door dropping in 2024. That was the surprise announcement at the last Direct, and it was just given a very generic 2024 window. Although now we may have more information than ever before on when this game is scheduled to drop, because a rating just popped up in both Brazil and Korea. Their respective ratings boards dropped the official rating for Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, leading many to believe that this game could be out sooner rather than later. I think initially when we heard 2024, we were thinking, okay, like late summer, early fall, something like that, to give it some space from the other releases that have been already announced. Super Princess Peach Royale, what's that game called? The Peach one. I want to call it Super Princess Peach because that's the DS game. It's Princess Peach Showtime. Okay. And Luigi's Mansion 2 and Mario vs. DK, so maybe give them some spacing, but they already have a rating for it, and while that doesn't necessarily indicate imminent release, it does indicate that it's close. I think there's a chance that Nintendo just kind of fills the first half of the year with these more remake-type titles as they prep for Switch 2, and saves every major new Nintendo release for either a cross-gen or a completely next-gen release. So things like Metroid Prime 4, 3D Mario, even Donkey Kong, probably all being saved for the Switch 2. And that would make sense that, you know, they do want to get this out in the first half of the year. Perhaps this is the June Mario game. We often have a June Mario game. Usually it's a sports game, but it very well could be Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. The sort of other side of the coin is that Nintendo oftentimes does have games completely ready to go, and then they just sit on them. They're known for, you know, just putting things on reheat, right? They'll bake it in the oven. It'll be ready to go for months, years even. That has been the rumor with Metroid Prime Remastered, that it was good to go for a long time. Some people still believe that Wind Waker and Twilight Princess have been ready to go and they're just sitting on them. We know Nintendo has in the past just sat on Fire Emblem titles until they were ready to release them in a month that, you know, best suited Nintendo's plans. Perhaps Paper Mario is another one of those games that is done. They're, you know, they've got it all set. It's rated. It's good to go. It could be gold. But they're going to let it sit in the smelter until Nintendo has a scheduled opening for it. Some people do strongly believe that Nintendo is very ahead of the game when it comes to development and releases, but rather than just pop out what they've got, they instead carefully calculate and plan, which, I mean, can you blame them? Nobody wants to drop 3 Mario titles in the same month, and maybe there will be some space between Mario RPG and the Thousand Year Door, although I will say I think they're very different audiences. I mean, I think there is overlap, but I do think the Super Mario RPG audience is probably more nostalgic and probably more of an older audience, an old school audience, than Thousand Year Door, I think, has more modern day appeal. I mean, I think both of them will sell very well. But also, November to June is like 8 months. I think that's plenty of time to separate two similar genre Mario titles. I wouldn't feel like that was too close or stepping on either's toes at all. And remember, these are remakes, so Nintendo's expectations for them probably are not as great as something like Mario Wonder or 3D Mario. And look, Mario Wonder comes out October 20th, and Mario RPG comes out November 17th, so Nintendo is not afraid of leaving less than 4 weeks between major Mario first-party releases. They could easily drop Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door early on in the year, and I think that's likely now. As opposed to this being a game that's saved for later in the year, I think the whole second half of 2024 is going to be exciting 4K, super pretty, glossy, good Switch 2 titles. And I think Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, no slight to the game because I know it has great gameplay, but I think it's better fit and better placed as a Switch 1 title and as a, hey, this is something great to tide you over until Switch 2 and to show that we care about our fans. We're giving a fan servicey moment at the end of the generation, and that is sort of my belief. But yeah, this officially has been rated. It could technically come out at any moment. Probably won't come out until at least April, since we do have Mario vs. DK, we do have Super Princess or Princess Peach Showtime, and we know that there is a Luigi's Mansion game. No set date yet on that, right? It's just coming out sometime in the great year of 2024, along with all of these other remade, redone Nintendo Switch games. So could Paper Mario be out before Luigi's Mansion 2? It could be. That's totally plausible now, and I'd love to know your take. My guess is June, but let me know when you think this game releases in the comments down below. Go check out Call of the Lamb. It's definitely worth trying, especially for free. And then Mario Party 3. If you do have the expansion pack, I think that's going to be a nice get for this Friday, a fun game. I wish it had online, but they have yet to really add anything to Mario Party Superstars, and therefore it makes Mario Party 3 all the more valuable since they have not brought in more of these boards and more of this content to the new Switch sort of Redux remastered remade version. But in the meantime, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll try to be back on camera as soon as possible, and until then, thanks again. SwitchForce out.